What is the most pathetic creature in D&D, and why can it literally create its own god? Hi, all you beautiful disasters out there. I'm Bettie Rage, your favorite nerdy goth mom, and this hot mess is Lashes and Lore, the only show where I try to explain divine metaphysics while my makeup primer slowly gives up on me. Right. Okay, so today we are going all the way down, past the caves, past the mushrooms, past the last sane adventurer, into the murky depths of the Underdark, to meet the creature that proves belief is the most dangerous spell of all, the Kuo-Toa. You think that they're just goofy fish folk? You are wrong. Slimy little nightmares are so insane that they can literally summon their gods from thin air. But what happens when that madness actually works? When collective delusion becomes divine power. Oh, and if you actually care about what I am slapping on my face today while we discuss fish folk, there's a product list down in the description box. Just like this is going to be a hard one for me today, okay? But just like Blibdoolpoolp, we'll get there. You'll see what I'm talking about. Because even underwater horrors deserve a good highlight from time to time. So, let's be honest. When most players see a Kuo-Toa, they laugh. They're slimy. They're weird. They have that 1,000-yard stare from somebody who's been looking at your browser history. They are chaotic, cowardly, and let's face it, they're covered in more mucus and slime than a middle school band concert. So gross. They are a CR 1/2 at best. The kind of monster that you throw into an early dungeon crawl when your DM hasn't had their coffee just yet. They're the monster equivalent of a knock-knock joke. So you're not really supposed to fear them. You're supposed to farm them for XP. And that, my darlings, is exactly why they are terrifying. Because while adventurers are giggling, the Kuo-Toa are building something far worse than a dungeon encounter. Wish I could just believe and the right brush would be here. Oh, it is. Thank you, Kuo-Toa. The Kuo-Toa are not just a punchline. They are what happens when trauma, faith, and madness collide in a puddle of slime and divine horror. Horror, not horror. You know what I'm saying. Anyways, okay, quick lore break because your character deserves to look as dramatic as they act. You've been using the same old janky mini since 2016, haven't you? It's okay. This is a safe space. You've written 3 paragraphs of emotional trauma for your bard, but they still look like a melted crayon on the table. Be honest, your party can't even tell which way they're facing. Well, with Hero Forge, you can finally fix that. Fully customizable minis, all in your browser. Pose them, paint them, give them eyeliner sharp enough to roll initiative. They've got color standees, bronze, and plastic options, so your adventurer can be immortalized in something sturdier than your DM's patience. So head over to heroforge.com and start designing your hero today. And check back often because new parts drop every week. All right, back to the chaos. But here's where the story stops being funny. Because the Kuo-Toa were not always this way. Once upon a time, they were an organized surface-dwelling civilization, spiritual and fully functional. And then came the Illithid Empire. The Mind Flayers, they found them, they broke them. Centuries of enslavement under psionic domination, their minds probed, rewritten, and erased until the Kuo-Toa's collective consciousness just kind of snapped. The torture was so total, so intimate. Words are hard. The torture was so total, so intimate, that it rewired what it meant for them to think. Nailed it. The Kuo-Toa, they fled into the deepest trenches of the Underdark, like one does. That is a theme for D&D. But their sanity did not come with them. to the Underdark. They just kind of went crazy. They had been shattered on a psychic level. What remained was a species living in constant overlapping hallucination. Like, imagine PTSD so severe, the boundaries between dream and faith kind of just disappear. They didn't just lose their minds, they built a new one, but like together this time. Their entire race became a single fractured psyche floating between delusion and creation, which is wild. So what happens when enough broken minds all agree that something imaginary is real? In D&D, the universe politely says, okay. But this is where things get truly unsettling, because the Kuo-Toa's madness isn't just chaos, it is creative power. Their faith doesn't pray to gods, it literally creates them. According to the Monster Manual, when a Kuo-Toa believes strongly enough in something, their combined psychic energy can literally manifest it. Their gods are not divine, they're crowdfunded hallucinations. The Kuo-Toa priest doesn't commune with heaven. He is the heaven hotline. They are the walking proof that the weave, the magical fabric of all of the multiverse, can be rewritten by belief alone. The more they worship, the stronger the illusion becomes, and eventually that illusion stops being an illusion. Reality yields to the madness. Those eyeliners don't match. Maybe if I believe hard enough, they will. Manifesting. Manifesting your dreams, except your dreams have claws and a divine stat block. So, if enough Kuo-Toa worship a rock and call it the sea's holy sponge, well, the rock will start answering prayers. And that is horrifying, because it means every forgotten cult, every fever dream, every fishy whisper in the dark could accidentally become a god. Now bear with me, I'm not very good at pronouncing things, and this has been a constant for me for my whole life. So now let's talk about their most famous success story. If success means existential proof that the universe has no quality control, then meet Blibdoolpoolp, the Sea Mother. And yes, I will only say that name once, and no, I will not be taking any questions. Thank you. All right, moving forward. She is described as a humanoid woman with the head and the claws of a lobster. I don't make it up, somebody else did. Because when you are a delusional fish person with trauma, apparently surf and turf counts as a religion. The Kuo-Toa created her from fragments of half-remembered beauty, a statue of a woman, a dead crustacean, and a prayer screamed into salt water. And somehow it actually worked. She's real. She grants spells. She commands cults. She is in the player's handbook pantheon, right next to gods who predate time. And that, quite frankly, that's the horror. The Kuo-Toa's collective madness is so potent that it can elevate a punchline into a divine being. So, the joke became a god, and the god is listening. And here's the part that I just love. The Kuo-Toa aren't scary because they'll kill you. They're scary because they'll believe you into existence. Their madness is contagious in concept, a self-replicating faith that forces reality to keep up. They prove that divinity is just a mental illness that caught on. In the D&D multiverse, that is a horrifying idea, because if a few thousand psychic fish can spawn a goddess out of trauma, what could an entire planet believe into being? What if every prayer, every myth, every bedtime story is just another collective delusion? waiting to hatch. So congratulations, adventurers. You did not just kill a fish cult, you killed faith itself. So good luck explaining that to your cleric. And if you are a dungeon master and you want to absolutely terrify your table, let your party kill a half-formed Kuo-Toa god and then wake up to find that it's still whispering in their heads. So the next time that you see a Kuo-Toa flopping around and babbling nonsense, maybe don't laugh. Because somewhere beneath the waves, that nonsense is congealing into a godhood. The Kuo-Toa are not weak. They are a collective hallucination, armed with prayer. And the Kuo-Toa are proof that in D&D, belief doesn't move mountains. It literally builds monsters. And a little more blush, because you can never have too much blush. And that's the gospel truth. And here is our final look. Also, if you know how to pronounce the sea goddess name, I'm proud of you. I really am. Good for you. But I do not. If you could accidentally create a god with your party's collective brain rot, what would that be? You should tell me down in the comments, because I want to know. And if you haven't had enough of my unhinged storytelling and mostly accurate lore, you should check out this video here. And don't forget to join my free Patreon. I'm Bettie Rage, your favorite nerdy goth mom, and this was Lashes and Lore, where the lore is deep, the eyeliner is deeper, and apparently the gods are crowdfunded. Be good to each other, love each other, and as always, free mom hugs from me to you. Bye. I'll see you next week.